Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Chick Talks Health. Woohoo! This is going to be a fun one. We have Dr. Keysha here from the Truth in Health nonprofit. Dr. Keysha, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you. We're going to talk about some cool stuff. So first of all, we're both on the board. So you and I are board members of Truth in Health.
Yes.
And that is a nonprofit that's really focused on holistic education, holistic practices. We've got folks in that organization. We've got the donkey milk people in that organization.
I'm very excited about them.
Yeah, and then we've got, some, let's say, human manure people. We've got chemtrail people. And we've got people like what we do who are using, let's say, natural products and natural practices to help people heal, right? So that's what Truth in Health is. And if you haven't checked out Truth in Health, go check out Truth. It's literally truthin.health. So it's really easy to find on the web. But Keysha and I are really excited to have a conversation today with you guys about some stuff that we've discovered. And so in any kind of healing or regeneration, let's say, we have to understand that basically what we're doing is we're cueing the body really to do the healing, right? Mm-hmm. And the body won't heal without certain cues. And part of this is because it's very dangerous to heal. It's cancer is healing, let's say, unbounded. So your body is very careful with regeneration cues. So when you get ready to try to heal something, if you're trying to recover from an infection, if you're trying to recover from any kind of health event, again, we're going to look at several different things. So the first thing that we're going to look at is, can you heal? And what is involved with that? Well, it's really two categories. It's more than that. And so I'm going to throw this to Keysha in just a second. But in my world, it used to be two categories of things. So one was essential nutrients, and then the other was infection. And if I could get you your essential nutrients and clear you of infection, then your body's going to kick off and go ahead and heal. Well, as always, there's deeper levels to things. And so we have, between Keysha and I, we have figured out that there's another critical element here that has to do with your lymphatic system and something called efferocytosis. So Keysha, do you want to talk a little bit about lymphatic movement and why you won't heal basically without that?
Absolutely. So the lymph system is the trash from the cardiovascular system. So what I do is I clear the trash out of the body. So I start from the head and go all the way to the toes, get those passageways open and get it to clear the body. That way your body can do what it's naturally meant to do freely and openly, instead of being all congested and stuck in one spot and then trying to get fluid there, and it just sits and pools. So it's very effective of getting the body to moving again how it's supposed to, and then regulate itself so you don't have to do it again.
So Keysha and I, and again, why does this work? Well, literally, you've got a kind of a mechanism in your immune system and in your body that's looking at your ability to clean up. And if you can't clean up an area, your body won't let you try to heal that area because you got a bunch of junk in there and you're not working properly. So Keysha can come in and basically get those areas moving again and get those areas flowing again. And this lets your body, it sort of gives permission for that healing gate to open. And what we're finding, let's give you a couple of examples of this, because I think that's the important thing. So I have a person that I've worked with for a very, very long time, multiple years. And this person repeatedly gets infected. This person repeatedly has, let's say, symptoms of chronic inflammation. And I mean, they are properly nutriented. We can kill anything, and we, routinely sort of go in and deworm them and try to kill stuff. But they were stuck. So do you want to talk a little bit about kind of that person? And
Absolutely. Yeah. So she was quite interesting. A lot of pain, lower back pain, neck pain. The stomach didn't really seem like that big of an issue, but once we got in there, the intestines were kind of, I won't say deformed, but they kind of moved over where they weren't supposed to be, just to alleviate the pain in the stomach. once I got the intestines to go back where they were supposed to, instead of them kind of being knotted up, they were able to stretch out and run properly. Now, what that was doing, the lower back was basically twisted, and so were the hips. So after that was rotated in the current position, that frees up the intestines and the organs in the stomach where they no longer have kinks and it can all move freely. Once that's freed up, the whole body changes. If there's a blockage somewhere, that's creating pooling, inflammation, all kinds of issues where your body can't clear the trash. And then that causes you to stop up and your whole body not to work correctly. So in cases such as where we use your dewormer, the dewormer can't go all the way through the intestines because it's blocked.
Yep.
So it's only getting to a certain point. So it's not allowing the bioceuticals to reach the whole rest of the body and be effective.
Right.
So once that's cleared out, it can reach the entire body and have great results.
Would you say, and so I'm sort of, we didn't talk about this question earlier, so I'm going to hit her call with a question. It'll be fun. But would you say that the why we get off between sympathetic and parasympathetic is if we can't clear the junk,
absolutely,
we're going to be in crisis, right?
Yes.
We're going to be running from a lion, and that potentially is what creates the twisting. Maybe.
Absolutely. So if you have full trash in your house, you go to a doctor, they say, here is an air freshener, take it home, and the trash keeps piling up. Here's another air freshener.
Yeah.
We did not take out the trash.
Yeah.
It will not go away until it has an effective way to clear the trash and get out of the body.
Yeah.
So until we do that, it's just piling up the whole time. It's just trash everywhere and it's building up. And you'll notice, especially in lymph nodes in the neck and the groin and the armpits, they'll start to get puffy. If you have any inflammation, tenderness, anything, you're building up trash in your body.
And that's a great way to look at it. Like, I would say, how people ask me all the time, how many people do you look at, Chip, that are not infected? 0. How many people do you look at that are moving properly?
0. Yeah,
and
everybody has blockages. I do my own lymphatic drainages. I still have blockages.
Yeah.
So, and I do it every morning in the shower. I massage it out. But that doesn't account for our environment that we live in and our food that we eat.
Yep.
I'm one of probably the most healthiest eaters that I know.
Yep.
I still have all kinds of issues with lymphatic and drainage.
Yeah, and I know more about this than probably anybody on earth.
Yeah.
And I still, I still get infected, and
Absolutely.
So there are. But I do believe that the way that God, if you will, designed the world is that once we get this figured out, we'll be able to defend.
Yes.
And we should be able to have a healthy, let's say, existence without having to kind of worry about so much stuff. But that involves food, that involves lymphatic massage, that involves movement, that involves eating proper stuff. So there's a lot there that we're just sort of on the edge of, I would say, right now.
So the cardiovascular system has the heart to pump.
Yes.
Whereas the lymph system, the trash, it doesn't really have anything but movement to get it going. So if you are not working, especially your calves, because there's a
pump.
Yes.
Yeah.
The pump in your calves. If you're not utilizing your calves daily or even multiple times per day, you're building up all kinds of trash. So calf raises, jogging, simple exercises will get that calf muscle to
Really
work in that lymphatic system. The only thing that we have to help the lymphatic system is the lungs.
Yeah.
To help push.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Is when we breathe in and out, is that working the lymphatic? Oh,
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're releasing those toxins too by our breath, respiration.
Yep.
So every time we're breathing, we're getting rid of toxins.
Okay.
So we're sensing the environment, bringing it all in, and then breathing out the trash.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. So, and again, this is part of, you guys might have heard of a process called autophagy. And that's where little Pac-Man like cells go around and they clean up debris in our body. Well, there's a deeper process called efferocytosis, and this is something that you won't regenerate if you're not moving lymph. And so super important to all these coming therapies that are coming, the stem cell stuff and exosome stuff and all that. Very important that we have movement and that we're properly nutriented and uninfected. So I want to talk about another case that was a little girl that came in. And this girl was, and a lot of the kids that we see right now are, and you know, we both would agree on this, are way sicker than, gosh, you know, we were. But anyway, she came in with her family. And so other, let's say, small children in the family, they all had parasites. So we treat them with our deworm. All of them got better except this little girl. And we're like, okay, well, this is another, you know, weird outlier case. So do you want to talk a little bit about what you found in her, and also about the weird, you know,
Yeah, so this little girl, I believe she's 6 years old. She's been everywhere for adjustments. She had some hard nodules on her knee, on her shoulder, on the back of her shoulder. So she had several different points that looked like it could be accelerated growth spots. However, during further analysis, I saw that she is completely off structurally. So her knee is actually rotated like this, and those hard knots on her knee, that's actually her bony points.
We're compensating.
Yes. Yeah. So her whole body was shifted like this. So whenever she goes to digest, she actually has to move around for that food to even move. So her posture was more like this and twisted.
Okay.
So any of her food down her digestive system, went to one side, and it was trapped there.
Oh, wow.
So that's whenever she was on your dewormer and the protocols that you did, whenever the bioceuticals reached there, it was able to fully go through her body. It just kind of got stuck there. So behind all of that stuck was all of the parasites.
Okay.
So those parasites made them a good little home right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were completely protected because
nothing was moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, no, that's really cool. I'm going to hit you with another cold question. So these are always fun because and I have somebody that we both know, which we'll talk about later, that is kind of stuck in a blood pressure situation.
Yes.
And so most of the people that, let's say, I have that are blood pressure people, again, as soon as I begin to clear infection, and as soon as I begin to get them renutriented, that blood pressure just comes down and normalizes. But some people, again, are stuck. So, it's got to be lymphatic, but yeah.
Well, I have noticed this. So people that we've actually taken their numbers before the lymphatic drainage and after, before it's elevated, after it's normal.
Really?
Just that quick.
Okay.
Because it's elevated because their body has nowhere to push it to.
Right.
So the body is stressed. So it's like freaking out. We got to get this stuff out. But once it has a passageway and it can leave the body, all the numbers go back to stable and normal.
Interesting. Yeah. So, and you wouldn't think that, blood pressure would be related. You can't, if you can't push, let's say, move water through a tube, you have to increase pressure to be able to do it. Yeah. That makes sense.
We see this a lot with people with hernias. So with hernias, their intestines stick out, and then the stomach muscle cramps, and then it gets stuck on the outside. So if there's food stuck on the outside, all of your numbers are going to go up. Heart rate, because nothing can move from that point.
You're in crisis.
Exactly. The whole body's in crisis.
Yeah.
And I think hernias are not discussed enough. One, they're pretty private, so people don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But there are really not a whole lot of good options of how to treat it.
Yeah, they cut it out. It's what they wanted to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so they'll want to patch it up, but there hasn't been very good results with the patches.
And I've seen, I know you have customers who you have completely addressed that hernia situation, got those hernias back into, like intestinal hernias, got them back in where they need to go, and got that situation. You had a guy who had it basically bubbling out of his belly button, right?
Yeah, and he had 12 hernias.
12.
And a massive one with the colostomy bag.
Yeah.
And so his was highly challenging, but he's back on track, and everything's staying in, and it's repatching and
That's
growing
amazing.
on its own. He has lost over 100 pounds now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I think that's been about 6 months.
Okay.
But he came in, and after everything is back in place and operating correctly, he's back down to a healthy weight, but he was just pooling up with fluid.
Yeah.
There was nowhere for it to go. So
Yep.
he had 100 pounds of inflammation.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
And we know people, and you guys know people like this, who almost look like kind of a face in a balloon. It was the kind of the way to say it, but it's not like they have a bunch of extra fat. It's
Right.
like they have a bunch of extra water,
A
right?
balloon.
Yeah, and we can really help those people. In fact, we can pretty much really help anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody who, with any condition, we really specialize in the challenging high risk cases.
Yeah. Yeah.
So everybody that we get have completely exhausted the medical system. They have no more options. Just like the guy with 12 hernias, there were no other options for him.
Yep.
So it's just basically go home, get comfortable, and wait until your body fails.
Yep.
So
we had a baby yesterday that will be likely, and again, I don't want to, we have some confidentiality and things like that,
Yes.
but we may be talking about that one a little bit more deeply, because that's a pretty serious one, and will require some back and forth to solve, probably.
what we are doing is incredible, because we're taking science and applying it and taking the results and refining it.
Yeah.
So you and I have a special opportunity where we can refine in very small increments and fine tune, whereas the larger systems cannot do those little adjustments.
Right. And we get to spend more personal time with people too.
Yes.
Like we know, everybody comes through here, we know very well. We know about their family. We know kind of who they are.
How they eat, how they exercise, what they do for fun. Yeah, we get to know our clients very well.
But if you want to know kind of where medicine is headed, we think that we're taking medicine where it needs to go. And so, even though I'm not properly lettered, I'm still trying to do this, and Keysha is properly lettered and is doing this. So anyway, we're excited to continue this. We're going to continue these conversations. Did we miss anything? Did we miss any area?
We have so much to talk about all the time. We can go into so many tangents, but I believe for today we got it covered. And I just want to say thank you so much for being a part of this and for inviting me into it. And the way that we collaborate and work together is just so impressive. And so thank you very much for having me here. And
thank you.
Yeah.
It's you've sparked things in me, and got me thinking. And you think I think in a nonlinear way, and you do too. And that really helps solve problems.
It really does.
It helps us get to best practices a lot quicker. So thank you too.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. All right. That's a good place to leave it. We'll be back with Dr. Keysha. I think this went well. I think you guys will probably like this. So we'll probably do a lot more of these. This is kind of fun. If you have any requests, if you want us to maybe dive into something and you want Dr. Keysha's perspective on it and you want my perspective on it, or however you want, you guys suggest what you want to hear from us, and we're happy to deliver. Anyway, we'll leave it there.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me for another episode of Chip Talks Health. My hope is that today's conversation help you understand your body just a little better. I believe one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves and our families is understanding, because better understanding leads to better questions, better conversations, and ultimately better decisions. Your body is remarkably designed. It's constantly communicating with you, adapting, protecting, and working to maintain balance. The more we learn to recognize those signals, the better equipped we are to support our health with wisdom and intention. If you found value in today's episode, I invite you to subscribe, share it with someone you care about, and join us as we continue exploring the science, solutions, and root causes behind better health. Remember, your body is always communicating with you. Learn to listen. And until next time, I'm Chip Paul, helping people understand their bodies one conversation at a time. Thanks for listening to Chip Talks Health.